Hey, this is Anthony from RevZilla TV. You can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new Nexx XD1 Helmet, available at RevZilla.com. This is new from Nexx. This is the XD1. This is their next foray into the premium dual sport market. Now, if we look at it, it's part of that same collection that sees the XT1, really more for sport touring, the XR2, which is your race thoroughbred. The XD1 is your dual sport helmet, keeping the great technology, the angular design, a lot of the DNA that you're gonna see dispersed within the Nexx line. But what you're doing here is you're configuring it for on-road and off-road use. It gets all of its DNA in the configuration with the peak, with the visor, drop-down sun visor. It's built to be worn in multi-season on-road touring and off-road conditions. Again, hardcore angular. It's also really nice to see them go with this angular theme at the top end. This bad boy is gonna be north of $400. And again, we've seen a lot of helmets come out with this angular style, but we haven't seen anybody do it with a premium feature set, light enough weight, and the fit and finish we would expect. Now, couple configurations here. You see peak on. And to my left, I have peak off. Again, you're getting that fighter pilot configuration, and you have the side pods, if you're removing the peak, that clean it up. That's a nice touch. What you're also going to notice is there's a lot going on here. A lot of vents, a lot of mounting points. There are some key firsts. So if we look at the front, it's an extendable peak. We have not seen anyone do that. You can completely remove it as well. The other thing you're gonna notice here that I really think is a standout feature is the fact that with the dual sport version, you actually have 3 Gopro mounting points. And we could say any camera sticky mount points, but in actuality, the primary driver within the camera scene is going to be the Gopro. And what you have here is a side pod that's completely flat, that's also removable. You can see it, I have on this side. I'm gonna have one that's gonna be concave with the helmet that contours to the side, but we have one on each side, and you're also gonna have one on the top. Again, integrating with the peak, fully removable. We haven't seen anybody else do this. The other thing to keep in mind as I move it to the side, and again, we're gonna walk through all of the nuance here, some of the key highlights, it's DOT and ECE rated with a drop-down sun visor. And the nice part about the visor, plenty of nose clearance, plenty of coverage, and again, it's a nice positive action. The last thing I want to call out that you might have missed at first glance, outside of the fact you're looking at a 3-pound, 8-ounce helmet, super lightweight with all of this going on, is it's pre-wired for the XCOM system. So you have an OE fit from Nexx, which is the XCOM. They partnered with Cena. So it's basically an integrated SMH10 that you can buy separately and get up to 4 riders paired, including yourself. So it'll be you plus 3 riders, and that's Bluetooth, that's music, that's rider-to-rider communication. That's going to become pre-fit so you can have that OE integration from Nexx with their XCOM system. Now, quick note on Fitment. And remember, it's going to come in solids, it comes in graphics. Fit-wise, intermediate oval, a little bit longer front to back. And that's where we're expecting the prime of the American market to shoot for. So again, not overly round, not overly narrow. Some of the previous Nexx helmets were a little bit longer or a little rounder. This guy's right down the middle of the fairway. They've really refined the fit. You're also going to have the emergency cheek pad removal system baked in. So remember, premium features, it's gonna be a premium fit. There's some adjustability here. They have the ergo system, you see it here. Definitely pulled that out from the back. Comes with different millimeter sticky pads for the brow, for the temples. You're gonna have 2 configurations to be able to fine tune the fit of the helmet, whether you want it more narrow or you want it more round. Again, they're giving you the ability to really customize, knowing you're buying a helmet this level of premium that's going to last you a lot of seasons if you take care of it. Keep in mind, we're gonna ship for free over 39 bucks. And as always, I'd love it if you click our logo, subscribe to us at RevZilla TV on our YouTube channel, leave me your comments, your questions, and your feedback. Now, working into the nuance of the Nexx XD1, let's work from the outside in. There's a lot going on here. Start with the shell. We talked 3 pounds, 8 ounces. It's gonna be DOT ECE rated. That's the X matrix, carbon fiber, fiberglass, Dyneema, resins. It's again going to be a high-end composite. If we look at some of the other pieces working with us here, we talked about the peak and its extendable nature. We've talked about the side pods, and on the street configuration with the peak off, you can really contour them. There's 2 sets. The nice part too, I'm gonna call out, notice that screw there. When you're using the more cosmetically oriented side pods, that screw is actually covered. That screw is in place on the flat mount, knowing that if you hang a GoPro on it, it needs to stay in place. When you're not using the flat mount, it's just gonna be a pressure. So again, it's a pressure action that's going to keep that in place. You wouldn't mount that GoPro to it. So they're being very thoughtful about the style as well as the functionality. It's using the fast shot system, which is a quarter turn, allows you to remove the peak as well as remove the optically correct face shield. And one of the other things that I'm gonna call out really quickly is you see these pin lock posts. So again, you're going to have an optically correct shield built in a configuration for dual sport riding, but you do have a large pin lock in the box, and that's going to be your anti-fog. So pin lock actually uses physics to create a dual-walled pane that's going to minimize condensation and fogging of the helmet. The other nice part too is you notice I have the city position open, you have it crackable as well, and it creates a great seal. So you have your pin lock, you have your crackable city position there. There are no detents on the face shield, so that is maybe a gripe that I'd love to see a couple detents. A lot of guys, you know, if you're riding with it in the up position, there's a small detent at the top, but maybe a couple cracks along the way could be beneficial. And we're talking about that gasket. It's a solid gasket moving all the way around that expects you to be riding in multi-season conditions, but again, gives you that gasket that's going to create the great interface with the face shield. Now, if we look at the chin vent, chin vent is 2-position, positive action. There's also going to be a mesh foam pad in the box that you can swap it out for and maybe turn it into more of a dirt configuration. A lot of guys like to increase that breath, increase the airflow right around the chin bar if they're spending more time off-road. And again, we like the action of that, it works well. The other thing I want to note is they've rounded off the bottom here. So again, you can see this molding that works its way around the bottom. It ties in nicely with the style, but what it does is it's not quite the hawksbill. So if you have a chin down, if you end up with pressure down on the peak, it's not going to hurt your sternum, and it's actually going to be okay and a bit more shock absorbing if it comes in contact with your body. The other thing I want to call out as we work our way back, remember, handful of intakes, and it's a dirt helmet. You're going to be rocking along with that face shield up a lot of the time if you're in an off-road scenario. On top, it's a 2-position positive vent. So again, your chimney's on top, they vent really well. We went out and we put 100 miles on this guy. It doesn't whistle, it flows a ton of air. They're big vent holes through the EPS on the inside, and it's nice and thoughtful that they went as far to give you 2-position, closed, halfway, and fully open. And you can see when I tip it like that, see that large flat mount area there for your GoPro on top. And notice everything's screwed in, so nothing's gonna be pressure mounted. Either lock it down or completely remove it, and again, finger screws along the top here for peak adjustment as well. If we look to the back, our Venturi vents, again, they tie in with the theme of the shell here with the aerodynamic profile. You notice the ridge on the back that we don't see in the XT1 or the XR2. This ridge is going to carry your goggle strap, but again, big Venturis pulling warm, moist air out of the helmet. And then along the back side too, you're going to see it just along the top left side. That's going to be your drop-down sun visor system. We talked about the coverage. We like the coverage. A lot of times these will hug your face too close. They might get in the way of your nose. This comes fully down and it's fully forward enough with a positive action. It's going to be a dark smoke. You're not going to have to carry a secondary shield. And that's why I'm griping a little bit less about the fact that the face shield is actually going to be integrated with the peak. Normally, I don't like to see that on the higher end dual sport helmets, but because it has a drop-down sun visor, which the Arai and the Shoei do not have, you can get away with it a little bit further here. Now, moving from the outside, let me grab my donut here and we'll break it down from the inside out. Notice all the things you'd expect from a more premium dual sport helmet. Removable breath card, that's going to come stock. One of the things that people don't realize is that Nexx purposely makes their double D ring a little bit longer, so you can loosen it to the point without completely undoing the double D, and you can actually take it off without completely undoing the strap. We haven't seen a lot of other manufacturers do that. Notice these red tabs, that's your emergency cheek pad removal system. So if you're out and the EMT shows up, they can pull those cheek pads to get this off of your head while they're still stabilizing your neck. Again, really important when you get into the higher end. We see it on race helmets for dirt, we see it on race helmets for street, and you'll notice CoolMax 3D, it's comfortable, it's going to be contoured, wicking, antimicrobial. They're using the most premium materials here. And you see even the speaker cutaway along the side to make sure you're getting that crisp audio if you are to install the secondary XCOM system, which again is the preferred OE fitment for your comm unit or your Bluetooth communicator. I'm going to do it one more time to show you how that emergency cheek pad removal system works. Actually quite smoothly, works extremely well. And if we work our way into the rest of the helmet, you're going to notice that it comes out from the back. So we pull up here, there are a couple snaps that work their way out towards the base of the skull, and then we work our way forward. One of the things I like is that, again, they're using a brow connection point. Notice 3 snaps across the brow, and they're going to interface with the helmet directly, leaving 2 free areas along your forehead. A lot of helmets will start to put those snaps right up here where my fingers are. They create big pressure points. I like this configuration much better, even though it made it look a little tougher to get out. I'd rather take the additional pain of having this be maybe a little bit harder to install by way of trading that for comfort in the longer term. Notice 3D liner, 3D CoolMax. You can see the mesh in different areas. If I open it up this way, very comfortable. It almost has a microfiber type feel to it. Great ventilation throughout. It's going to promote a lot of sweat wicking and promote a lot of ventilation to help you keep you cool and comfortable while you're riding. Now, if we open it up further, and give you a shot of the inside here, Notice the fins on the inside. All of those fins, they work like a heat sink would work on your computer processor. Again, giving space and surface area to be able to allow moisture and heat to dissipate from your head if you're working hard on your bike. And notice where those vent holes are integrated. Lots of 10mm vent holes that are going to channel air throughout the helmet, circulating around your head and exhausting through the back. So again, it's nice to see when a manufacturer takes the time to think about their external vent scheme and how it integrates with the fins on the inside of the EPS to promote airflow while you're really maximizing the helmet's comfort if you're pushing it to the extreme. And again, certainly at this price point, this level of technology and this level of flexibility for off-road riding, if you're making this investment, I hope that you're going to get the mileage out of this helmet and really push it to its limits. Now remember, this is the Voyager graphic. It comes in solids, comes in a handful of graphics. You can always configure it right out of the box by removing that peak and go full on Top Gun with it. That's a nice touch as well. And within that premium Nexx line, XD1, the D is dual sport. XT1, the T is for sport touring, and then you have the XR2, and the R is for race. Keep that in mind, using similar DNA, similar technologies, but really configuring it for the application you're going to use. The next step in your journey is to click right here, read other rider reviews of the new XD1 at RevZilla.com. You don't have to take my word for it. As always, we'll ship for free over $39, and if you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us at RevZilla TV on our YouTube channel. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.